What's going on, guys? It's RPG Zeke here, coming at you with another video. It is our last video from our new type challenge back on December 6th. This is for all the marbles, baby. So, on the left-hand side, resuming his immense pressure and being in several videos is going to be AZ, piloting his blue-purple aggro deck list, which has been working out phenomenally for him. On the right-hand side, first time ever on camera, is going to be Phantom R. He'll be piloting a blue-white deck list. It is a blocker Epyon package. As these guys set up, I'm going to go ahead and give you the rundown on something. The video length is only 9 minutes. Reason for that is these guys agreed, instead of doing a best of 3 in the top cut, they were okay with doing a best of 1, and as long as both agreed to it, I was willing to enforce it with all things considered. So we went ahead and did just best of 1 for this. So AZ setting up, already looking at what to do. They're trying to figure out who goes first and second. Phantom R is going to be going second, starting with the EX resource, putting AZ with just the one resource to start. These guys were talking about something. These guys do talk and play quite a bit against each other, so for them it's just another day. For us, we are left in suspense as you see some shoes in the background there walking over. Everybody was floating around this table, as it was the last match we were all waiting on. Level 1, we draw, we do nothing to play. Level 2, also the same for Phantom R. Level 2 now for AZ, we do present something to board. We do Gray's Custom, presenting pressure to board. Phantom R immediately says, no more pressure, take this Lifrith, which is a blocker. It's a 2 attack, 4 HP stat line, so that Gray's Custom is not going to be swinging anytime soon. On level 3, we immediately play Corsica Base, which is going to allow us to get us that Tall Geese token. Tall Geese token being a 4 attack, 2 HP stat line, could crack the EX if allowed through, or could trade directly with the Lifrith. Phantom R already considering his options at level 4. Looks like we're going to go and burn the EX already. We're going to go ahead and say it's worth it to get that thing off the board. We're going to do Sword Strike Gundam with Kira, so that's a link. It's going to be able to attack for 6 damage. When it does, it's going to take the base, and that is going to bounce a 2 HP stat line. So it's going to bounce the token right off the board. As quickly as it entered, the goose is cooked already. AZ having to deal with one of the more nasty things on the board. The Sword Strike Gundam does really tempo aggro plays somewhat if he can't start dropping units that are going to have more than 2 HP. I think that's what AZ is probably thinking at this point. Level 4, we're going to see his traditional play of double Angsha and ping 2 to the Sword Strike Gundam. Sword Strike Gundam now only having 2 HP left after the double played Angsha. When Sword Strike swings, the only thing he's going to be allowed to bounce is that Gray's Custom, and the Angsha are going to be able to stay on the board. A little confused on what he was declaring, so he unfortunately took his shield to hand, but immediately discarded it, so no misplays there. He then takes the Gray's Custom back to hand from the Sword Strike, declaring the attack. He pays 2, Phantom R does, and he drops the Rick Diaz, so we've got a 3-3 blocker now on that side protecting the shields. We decide to Fatal Strike, get that Rick Diaz off the board so it's no longer a direct threat and it can't trade with one of the Angshas. Angshas being a 3-3 stat line, that's not a good thing to run into. We swing Angsha at the Sword Strike. We allow it to go through. We do not block with the Lifrith. And we go Angsha to the EX and we allow it to go through. We drop a Jim and a Rezel. We're now 3 units wide, presenting good pressure against a blocker-focused deck. And we go 4 for an Ale Strike. You'll notice he didn't play a pilot, so we're not going to be bouncing anything back to hand, unfortunately. Phantom R still mocking AZ by saying he's reeling him in. AZ says, whatever, pays 3, Show of Resolve, grabs 2 more cards, ready to refuel and get back in this. Angsha to shields, checks a Show of Resolve. Jim to shields, get blocked. Lifrith, 2 damage on, and we show the other traditional drop of 2 gun tanks. Lifrith now off the board. We're now 4 units wide. We have checked several shields. That Gray's Custom is back with a vengeance since there's no longer a Sword Strike Gundam to bully it off the board. Phantom R, a couple shields in and still has not seen a pilot besides the first Kira that he played. We drop an Argama, take a shield to hand. Maybe that paid off. We go Zwart and Striker Pack. Striker Pack's going to allow us to make a token that is going to also set up for another blocker. So we're now 3 blockers wide. Ale Strike not wanting really anything to stay alive. Unfortunately, he can only swing into one thing. He picks the Angsha. L-Strike alive with 1 HP on the board. AZ looking pretty good, all things considered, with 4 units wide. Phantom R helps him out, restands his Rezel. What a gentleman, what a scholar. As AZ thanks him by blowing up his L-Strike, and he does. Angsha down on the board, pinging the L-Strike completely off and out of here. Now we're down to just the 2 blockers. And the Angsha cannot swing. It's the only unit so far in here that cannot swing. So we've got 2 blockers and 4 attackers at the ready. We bring it back so we're not mixing up what is what on the board. AZ has a whole lot of resources and a lot to work with. He did cast a Show of Resolve earlier, so he does have a good amount of cards in hand. Phantom R showing he has 4 cards in hands and lays everything flat. We consider our options. AZ lining up 2 cards in his hand usually means he's going to drop a link. Are we going to see it? What link could it be? It is the Gundam Barbatos 4th form for the starter deck with Mikazuki, so when this card comes down, it's going to ping one of his own units, the Barbatos is, and then that unit that he pings with the unit is going to get a +1 to the attack. AZ considering where he wants to go, as Phantom R reminds us what he does with his anime waifu pillow with that hand gesture of his on the table. We ping our Gray's Custom, so it's now 3 attack instead of 2. And then Mikazuki pings the Striker Pack on that side, the token, along with himself. So now Suppression is online with the Gundam Barbatos. Will he be able to get the Suppression off? Or does he want to take the trade a different way? We go Gundam Barbatos swinging first, meaning that if either the Launcher Strike or the Zwart block, that Gundam Barbatos is actually still going to be alive and present on the board. That was probably the best for all things considered involving the pressure of what Phantom R now has to deal with. Phantom R does have 1 resource up, so maybe he's thinking he's got an unforeseen incident, if he does at all. And no, we actually just trade the Zwart. Gundam Barbatos takes the 3 damage from Zwart. It's still alive though, like I was saying before. We swing the Rezel. We allow the Rezel to hit for 4 on the base for Argama. Gun Tank, 1 attack going in. If it does touch, it's going to crack that Argama. We decide to block with the Launcher Strike. We go Gun Tank, cracking the Argama. Gray's Custom to shields. And we pass the turn. We move the Angsha up from the back row. That is not a new one played. Phantom R dropping immediately a Freedom Gundam to stabilize pressure, put on some more blockers. We do swing the Launcher Strike into the Barbatos so it's no longer on the board as the biggest threat. And we do that also probably hoping that if AZ does check another shield and we hit a Striker Pack, it'll produce another token, but not if one is already produced. So it does have to go away to see if this kind of pays off. We are going to block the Gun Tank with the Freedom, put 1 damage on. And at this point, we're just going to swing for the fences and see if we can close out. And we do. Phantom R, no shields left. Last hit, win in. It is Dunzo. Phantom R being funny, throwing down stuff at the end, saying, nah, new Argama. Showed him his hand. His hand was god-awful. That will get you murked in a new type challenge. AZ, once again, dude, congratulations for being the new type challenge winner over on December 6th. Was absolutely a treat watching you play and pilot that deck to success. It is all gas, no brakes, his purple-blue aggro deck list. But that's it, guys. That's it for these commentary matches until the next new type challenge season begins. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.